All right. Oh, some kind of weird stuff happened. Is this how it should be? We good?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. Good. Hey, everybody. It's me, Lynn Rene MacDonald, for Live Talk Forum here on Wednesday night for the summer season. Okay. This show is about learning about higher knowing of God or love energy and the best way to live your life from love. Okay. We're coming to you live from Virginia Beach, Virginia. We're trying to get our shit together here tonight. Thank you all for coming. I see some of you popping up. Hi Dee. Hi Kathy. I can see you from here on the screen here. Thank you for coming. We have Leisha tonight in our live audience. Thank you, Leisha, for coming and joining us. And a little bit of sage in here. Everybody needs sage, right? Okay, so we are coming to you live from Virginia Beach, Virginia for our live show here. It's metaphysical, and it's all about doing the right thing from love. So we've combined for the summertime everything that we do from love energy into our one show here, which is the Live Talk Forum, okay? 7:15 every Wednesday night. I'm going to give you all the sage in, and us too, right? You got some of this, Leisha? I'll have to pass it around, right? And we have Lovely, our mascot, tonight with us. Lovely's one of our rescue dogs who's on the mend, like all of us. We're a little under the weather tonight. We got some kind of like a summer flu going on. And so we'll be talking a little bit about that in our immune systems. We will also be talking about society and what's going on in society based on this new kind of job that I've acquired and what my experiences have been now that I'm at the ocean front several nights this season already from May into June. So we're going to be talking about that, what's going on in society as well. And we're also going to answer all your questions live here on the internet as well as in person. So in the meantime, when I'm talking about this stuff, everybody, if you can get your questions together, great. Please, please, please do. Do I have a water over there that I could please have, Rachel? I asked.
Just have one.
Okay, I just need one right now. Thank you. Thanks very much. I asked for water and because I'm a little under the weather. It's been crazy. So thank you. I appreciate it. With what we got going on. Okay, so tonight's show, we're coming to you live. Like I said, we're here every Wednesday. You can ask medical intuitive questions. You can ask any questions, solutions, anything you want to know about the world, consciousness, God, love, energy, anything God, metaphysical, anything that is in this existence, all about you personal, as well as anything that is out there. That's what my soul came in here to do and answer, and that's what our team does here at our shopping center. We are healers and master teachers and master healers at the highest level of God or love, right? And what we are is what you are at whatever level you choose to be, and if you choose to be that, right? Our shows are all on donation, so you can send money in the mail, you can come here and leave a donation, or as well as you can donate on Venmo or PayPal. My assistant Rachel, who's here with me tonight, will share the links, and everybody who has cool questions, start getting them together, okay? So that said, that's pretty much our introduction for tonight. Great to see you guys. Thank you all for coming. And to all you guys who donate faithfully, and to all who donate whenever you can, whatever you can, thank you. Thank you, Leisha. Thank you. I'm just going to name off some people who have donated. Thank you. I know Nicole Opper, Alicia, Wendy Hall, Debbie Akers, Teresa Courtney Lloyd has donated. Jen Lloyd has donated. So, and if I didn't name you, please know that we are super grateful, super, super grateful. Anybody and everybody who can donate, whether you donate by sharing what we do, telling people what we do, changing the world from love, sending us donations, whatever it is. We are super grateful and thank you. All right, my other assistant, Jen, has come. We got our waters. Do we happen to get a mug? Yeah. Awesome. So I got my mug. We're a little behind on our setup. All right, and we're going to go from here in like 5 minutes, all right, where we're going to answer your questions. Okay, let me see. Okay, so tonight, as you all know, I'm going to talk a little bit about where my journey in my soul's life life path has led me to. As you all know, I've been working at the ocean front. I have a little stage set up there, and we are at the ocean front, and we are in the middle of lots and lots of people because we are on the main strip, which is the Atlantic, and then there's the aboard boardwalk. So we are on the Atlantic, so we're witnessing every night when we do go up there, we see lots and lots of people. And what I'm doing there, because I don't know, a lot of you will know that I'm an artist, and I've been an artist for years. I was an artist before I was a spiritual person consciously, okay? And artists are your creatives. And if you think about it, artists are your most naturally inclined spiritual people who create, right? So there's a propensity for you to get spirituality or God or love or light in however or whatever level and way that you get it, because you already understand creation and are connected to it through your art. So some fascinating shit, right? So what I'm doing at the oceanfront, for many of you who are asking, is we are up there, Rachel and me, and sometimes Sophia, and sometimes other people come to see us and visit us and all, which you are all invited to do, right? What I'm doing, though, is I'm face painting. That's one of the avenues of our business that we have. I do art that hangs on your wall. I used to do murals. I used to do portraits of people. I have a 4-year degree, which a lot of people don't even know about, from a college in New York City, School of Visual Arts, with a master's in illustration, not a master's, but a major in illustration. So a lot of people don't know that about me. My life has led me down many avenues and many pathways, and art was my first creative journey, and what really is part of where all of our souls go through creation to lead us onto the spiritual journey. Because what is God? God is creation, right? Yeah, fascinating shit. So what I'm doing at the oceanfront is, and part of our business here is we do art, right? We do services, metaphysical work, energy work, medical intuitive work, readings, life counseling, business counseling, spiritual energy work, master soul clearings, past life regression. So we have a whole bunch of stuff, because when you are high in God, you have lived many, many, many lifetimes and acquired incredible wisdom. And this is all carried with you in your soul. And the more you are in touch with God or love, the more freedom you have, and the more you can do any and all businesses that you choose to do. And there's not just one thing that you do that you're excellent at. There is infinite things that you do. Do you see? Pretty neat shit. Hi, Madeline. Thanks for coming. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks. All right. So Madeline's here with us tonight as well. Jennifer came in a few minutes ago. All right. And just bear with us tonight, because we are dealing with some kind of summer flu. And if you know anything about summer colds, they suck. They sucks. So there you go. That's what we're dealing with. But bringing us back to being creatives, being at the oceanfront, and doing art at the oceanfront, basically. This is what we were called in to do, guided by higher knowing. As many of you know, I asked God for ways to keep our business going. And I said, if we can't make the money through donations and through our shop and center in these times, bring us the money, and however is best, tell me what I got to do, guide me to where I got to go, and for what I've asked for in my dreams, right? Because I've asked God for some incredible things. I've asked God to change the world to love and from love. And just like all of us, we're all part of that same mission to fight the darkness and create a world that's been better than ever before from love. And this is what my soul is here to do. I'm a teacher for the teachers, and you guys are too. And everything that we are and do, right, is here designed for not only just our own soul's purpose from love and our greatest lives, but also to change the world on a grand scale in the collective. This is all part of our mission. That said, bringing you to a little bit of wisdom about creatives and artists and how they're naturally inclined to become spiritual and have that in us, in themselves, right? And anything I am, remember, you guys are. What we are is what we create, all right? Or what we are is reflected, really, in our reality, the people around us, okay? As well as what we are is what we create, too. So that said, there's some wisdom in all of this and all of my experiences tonight that I'm going to share with you, because now I've been at the oceanfront for several days now. It's been quite an experience. I've brought my people up there. My daughter can run around and walk around and explore the oceanfront, which is exciting. You know, there's so much going on there. It's crazy. And it's exciting. But what's so cool about it is God or love is leading me there to get into the people, which is something I've asked God for, right? Anytime any of us gets our light out into the people, no matter what we are doing around the people, it raises the vibration. It teaches the people. This light lifts up the world. Yeah. No matter what you're doing, whether I'm face painting, right? And if you think about art, it is the universal language since the beginning of time. It bridges all languages. Why? Because everybody understands pictures. Do you see? Whether everybody understands music, right? And everybody, understands books and anything and everything and avenues of creation, right? To connect with, because art brings people together. It's creation, it's God, it's love. It brings out emotion. It is emotion. Cool shit, right? Just what I knew I should have shut off my phone. Here it is. I'm just gonna.
Maybe they have a question for the live.
Yeah, that could be. That could be. They'll probably call back. Well, if they do, so be it, God. Thank you, God, for that for us, right? So I just want to say thank you, everybody, for coming again. My little phone interruption there. And so that's what's happening at the ocean front. Art is creation. So we're face painting. The city is paying us to go out there on certain nights. So we have a contract with the city to do so, and guided by a higher knowing of love. And like I said, when you ask, you receive. So any kind of crisis, anything you have, and when we ask God for things, they happen. Right? If I just see it like this and I say, oh my God, no one's coming into the shop, the economy is fucking crushed, this government sucks, and I sit here and I get in a wallowing space and I say, well, only 5 people donated, or only this happened, and I don't have any money, and how the fuck am I, and I get all shitty with it, right? Then I create more of the very things that I don't want, and more of things on a grander scale that are super equally toxic or unbehooving to me and what I'm asking God or love for. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. Incredible stuff. How the law of universe, the law of God, the law of love energy, both in earth world, Saturn's earth world, and metaphysically, right? There's a whole code of ethics here. And everything we teach and do on this show is all part of that, and do in our lives. And with everything we do. Excuse me a minute. Time to get some water. Okay, so we're at the ocean front. It bridges, right? Art, the work that we're doing, bridges cultures, bridges ethnicities, bridges people, right? Bridges black and white, bridges all different people, everyone, everything, every socioeconomic status. It brings people together. Art brings people together. Art helps us open our hearts, right? And this is truly how it has worked from the beginning of time. That was our first form of communication. If you think about it, when we couldn't speak or we didn't have a language, you start with what? Seeing, with motions, with your hands, ever since like Paleolithic cave painting times, right? Yeah, that's art history with my college degree. That's right. Right? Oh, totally. School of Visual Arts. Yeah, art history. Way back in the day, right? Okay. So this said, this is all a form intertwined with the work that we do to get us out to the people, right? And God is answering my prayers. Now, let's say it might not be in the exact way that I had thought, but when I asked God for everything I needed, I said, look, I'm recovering from being ill, and what job can I do that I can do and I can and do great at, and that can bring us in the money that we need, right? Bring us these avenues, whatever it is. Tell me what I can do, God. And this is how this happened. Incredible stuff, right? Yeah, ask and you shall receive. But if I get in that wallowing shitty space like we were just talking about of woe is me, I don't have a job, my shop could close, I can't pay this bill, I have all these fucking back bills. No. The second I do that, I destroy my own train, my own path, my own destiny. Because this is truth of God and love. But when I say, okay, God, when this toxic stuff comes in through me or comes out of my soul, free me from this now, please. What do I need to know? How do I change this? What do I have to create? What can I do, God, to change this? Show me, and so be it, and let me do it. And then I follow my heart. I listen, and I what? I do. Right? So this is how this all came about. This is why we've cut back on the shows for the season, as we've talked about, right? Guided by higher knowing. And we always, even when we don't understand the whole concept of why what is happening in its entirety, I ask, in that moment, I ask, I receive, I get all the information. And when I need more information, I ask for more. I ask questions, specific questions, just like we do with health. Just like when you guys ask me questions. Same thing. Okay, God, what's the God's honest truth about this? About whatever it is. And this is how you do it, right? This exactly is how we all do it, right? This is what we're here to change the world with. The more we get us people doing that, the more we're going to change the world together, because there is a whole entire higher knowing of all different levels of spirituality, right? And spiritual energy or vibration, right? And Christ consciousness is one of the purest forms and the most highest form of love energy. Now, there are exceptions, right, of higher energies here on the planet as well. But overall, it is Christ consciousness that has returned to the planet, but it's not in one person, it's in fucking all of us. so they can't fucking get to they can't get to all of us, right? Oh, but they're gonna try, right? They're gonna try for sure. So this is about, God knowing better, right, than the darkness. God knowing better than the darkness. Always, which is always, right? Because why? Because love knows everything, it is everything, and love wins. Always. Love is the highest power, the purest power. It is that, and always knows what darkness is up to. Love itself knows ourselves better than we do ourselves, you see. All right, so that said, this is why we're at the ocean front, to bring our light. And now, because I'm up there not just painting, I have children asking me questions. I'm teaching morals. I'm teaching code of ethics. I'm teaching people and parents how to basically give them a good basis of a code of ethics on how to parent their children. Ever hear a please and thank you? Yeah. It's amazing the deficit this society is at in regards to that. It's just fucking crazy, right? People come up, how many people get a face painting and they don't say thank you, and they're like ignorant. It's a crazy world. We are living in a time where there's such a massive breakdown of society, of family, on all different socioeconomic levels. It's incredible. It's incredible, the stuff I am witnessing, because we sit at the ocean front and we watch hundreds of people walk by us every day from all over the place, be it Montreal, Canada, New York City, West Virginia, Florida, Georgia, right? I don't know, why they choose Virginia Beach, but wherever their heart leads them to, their soul leads them to, is where they're going to be, right? Okay. So this is also what I'm going to talk about tonight, is the breakdown of what's happening, the truth of God, of what's happening in society, because God is showing me through me what? Living it. Our greatest journey here, Earth World, is about living, right? That's where age comes. With age comes wisdom, because we what? Excuse me. We live it. We live it. Nothing like life experience. Like, I can tell my kids all I want. Like my dad used to tell me. He used to say, Lynn, I can't tell you nothing. And he's right, because I had to literally go out there and live it and do it to really get the message. And that's the nature of Earth World and the grand design of all that is God in Saturn's universal law here in Earth World. You gotta live it to really truly get it. And this is true of spirituality too. And we've talked about this. I can't tell you how many people come to me and they go, I know what you talk about. I know what you do. And I'm tired of listening to you over and over. And I've heard everything you have to say. I've read every book and hundreds more and all of this other shit, right? And I look at them and I say, okay, and I can relate to them, but I know in my heart that if you're not living it, you're not doing it. You're not really in that space, because Earth World is about living it, right? Everything. I'm talking to God. God, what do I do now? What about this? How about this? It doesn't mean you have to do this all the time, but I'm telling you this and sharing you this because the more you do this, the more you heal you, the more you create your greatest life, the more you clear all the blocks that you have, the more you live your greatest dreams, and the more like you are everything that you could possibly not even imagine, and you open the doors to a whole world of wisdom and dreams that you never even realized was out there. Just by working with God. Or working with love. But you've got to what? You got to fucking do it. People are like, yeah, I do it. I'm like, really? That's not what God's telling me. You're talking to God all the time, just like I talked about. Love energy. Where do I go for my job, right? How do I cool off? What's the best tools to cool me off, right? What's going to help me to feel better? How am I going to fight this flu? What are the best tools that I need? Cool me off at the ocean front. I'm always talking to love because it is all your magic. It is all the magic of Harry Potter. All the magic of love energy is what you guys all have the power of because you are that in your soul, right? And so the more you connect to it and work with that literally in Earth World, Aries, action, doing, Saturn, Earth World, right? Go to ethics. The more you are in your heart and actually live in your heart, the more great things happen. The more you work with God in love, however way you do it. You can tell me that you do all these things and you read all these things and you know all about this and you can know a hell of a lot. But if you don't practice it, or meaning do it, then you're at a deficit, because Earth World is all about what? Doing. Just like when they say, we talk about the Great Reset, right? And we talk about how they say, you're going to have nothing and be happy. That's bullshit. Earth World is about things. Everything in Earth World is a thing. It's about living in with things, separating yourself from things, learning the value of things. And that helps us learn the value of what? Ourselves. How we value, what we value, who we value, the ways that we value. Incredible, incredible stuff. So when they tell us the bullshit line, the elitists and all the darkness out there, the Luciferians, right? When they tell us that we're going to be happy and have nothing, all right, have nothing, that's bullshit. And you know it. And you know it. And again, you know it by your heart and how it feels. You double, triple know it by talking to God and asking them to show you the God's honest truth, right? Just like anything and everything we do, employ, and teach. It is love, people. It is love that is all the power. And the more you work with that, the more you know what the truth is, the more you feel it in the heart, and the more you live your greatest life. Okay, so that's why we're at the ocean front, and we're talking about a breakdown of society, and that's what we're going to talk about as well, right? But before we get into that, because this is really big, the shit that we're seeing right in front of our face is crazy, and this is about boundaries. This is about universal law in Earth World. This is about universal law with God or love, all right? This is about societal Earth World. This is about the breakdown of people being in their hearts and darkness infiltrating humanity, society, right? And what I'm witnessing literally in Earth World by going out there and doing, right? Doing love energy and painting and doing my thing, right? With God and love and my people, right? All right. When I'm out there, I am literally witnessing what's really going on in the world. And I can watch TV, right? But it is and I can listen to propaganda, and I can watch movies, and I can, assume from my reality that I know what's going on, right? Yeah, right? But I don't know what's truly going on till I'm standing in it. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just like trying to be a mother. If I don't have children, I don't know what the fuck it's like to be a mother. I could have a dog and be a mother to that dog, and I have some kind of idea, sure. But there's all different levels of being a mother. But until I'm really a mother of a child or a mother of a dog, or have different kinds of mothering experiences, I don't know shit really about being a mother. Yeah, because that's how it works in Earth World, truly, right? And I know you all know this. We've all run into people when we've all had little kids, and they're like, you should tell your kid this, and your kid should behave better, and you should do this because my kid's not going to do that when I have kids. We all been there, right? And then the second they have kids, the whole world changes, right? Because their idea of what they think is not the God's honest truth of how it really works in Earth World, right? So those are some of our challenges here, okay? We're seeing what's really going on in this breakdown of society in real life, real time. Not what they're showing us on the news and the bits and pieces, but you can also get stuff on the news, on television, and on the internet. Most of my stuff that I get is always guided by higher knowing. It pops up on my phone, pops up on my social media. A lot is on my Twitter feed, my Facebook, YouTube, right? And they show me what's really going on in the world, and I feel it out. What's the truth here, God? And I feel it in my heart. This also tells us the truth about what's going in the world, and I check it. But there ain't nothing in this world like your own experience and your own reality to tell you what? The truth of God and what is what? Really going on. Authentically, the truth. So when you see all this propaganda bullshit and all the other crap, look at the real world. Just like the people are starting to, have issues with their immune system. It's no joke with the inoculations and all the toxic in the world and the choices that we've made and our journeys of self-love and loving our bodies. This is all part of these times. Not loving ourselves in our physical being and honoring our bodies and whatever other stuff we have related to this energetically. is all part of the healing process that we're going through right now. However way people choose to do it, whether you got inoculated or not, right? We've all made these choices, and now we're all going through some rough ass shit with our immune systems, right? I'm seeing it everywhere. All of a sudden, things are popping up in people's reality, right? In their physical bodies with their health. A lot of you are seeing what they're calling all of a sudden, I don't know, what was it I saw today? Sudden youth, adult onset of death or something, right? At people in their 20s and 30s. And I'm like, stop. That's not fucking normal. You have to say to yourself, what the fuck is going on here? What's the truth? People don't just drop dead in their 20s and 30s in their sleep and shit, right? Now, there's exceptions to every rule, of course. But what feels right in your heart? What did you ask God to know? What's the truth of that, God, right? It's not right. It's not right. And you feel it. Just like, my one daughter has a job and the people are constantly calling out sick. There's all these problems at the job and at her work. One person passes out, another person has another problem, another person is sick, and it's a constant battle. And we're seeing these lowered immune systems already in this reality from inoculations, from the poisons, from the choices that we've made in our lives. And this is part of this whole entire epidemic in the energy that is designed to help us heal us, to get to higher vibrations of love energy, to not only heal ourselves and live our greatest lives and clear those blocks that are stopping us from our greatest health, our greatest well-being, and our greatest dreams, as well as changing and raising the vibration of love here on the planet, right? People are becoming sick. Okay. And this is the truth. So you're going to have deficits in jobs. I'm seeing this again in my reality. And with everything we're going through, because the universe said to me, we knew you weren't going to get inoculated. So this is the journey that your soul chose so that you could be the greatest healer you came to be for not only yourself and heal yourself and your family and share your gifts with other people in these times so they can heal too. With everything that's going on and share all of this with the world. Excuse me, right? This is my journey, right? And I've been working on being well for quite some time now, but it has been a fucking bear. My immune system has been fucking tanked, and everybody in my family is suffering variations of mold sickness and toxins, whether it's some kind of strange blisters related to lymphatic stuff, right? Because your lymphatic system is your toxic drainage system. It's your whole body works together, of course, but it is a main core of it, right? So some of those symptoms are, blisters and, what do you call those? Skin irritations and yeast infections and things like that. But not only that, you're going to have colds, and like we have like a summer flu, and it's a fucking bear. It's a bear. So it's a constant battle. When your immune system is down, you can't really live. You can't live. So we're working on everything metaphysically and physically, all the tools, working with God all the time, astrology, love energy, God, everything God, homeopathic, everything God brings to my table to heal us and to help others, because people are coming to me. More so than ever before, for God, for the universal medical intuitive gifts that I have to share with the world, as me being the vehicle to share with everybody. Not just those gifts, but all the gifts of higher knowing. Yeah, but this is everything I'm telling you about me is who you are and what's coming for you is some variation of it in whatever you choose. And not just one thing, like I'm an artist, I'm a teacher, I'm a healer, I'm an entrepreneur. Because when you have and you're creative and you're a really old soul from lifetimes and high in consciousness, doing one thing is very rarely going to be enough for you. That's why I have to work on some shit with me about being married. I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I'm just not. And once I realize this, then I don't torture myself getting married again. And people say, I just want to be married. I'm like, oh my God, are you fucking crazy? Right? Because what's good for one person is not necessarily good for me, right? Yeah. Because that's what makes us unique. We're our own unique souls, right? Own unique souls. So all of this channeling is for tonight. Okay, and we are working on getting well, and we're going to share some stuff that I've talked about for what we're doing with our greatest health. So I've talked about using Young Living essential oil as well as doTERRA essential oils, right, for our health, since we're talking about that. Here's my big bottle of light olive oil, and it's in a mason jar, as you can see, right, and it's a topical, right, and we pour our Young Living in there, or our doTERRA Thieves essential oil. Okay, so, and this is what I use, right? Now, I'm not like we have had crisis after crisis with Young Living in these times, but the bottom line is Thieves essential oil is known through history as being a great antiviral. We've talked about that, right? You can use it in capsules. You can use it topically, like we just showed you. I put it on my feet. I put it on my chest. I put it all over my body, depending on where I need to put it. Sometimes I put it all over, sometimes guided by higher knowing, always. And I always do what? My homework. I do my research. So I make sure I have my shit together first with God. God, guide me to the God's honest truth. Is this what's best for me? But if all of a sudden Thieves pops up on my thing, I'm going to say, God, why is this coming up on my phone? Because it's my highest heart self, my subconscious soul calling it in. Do you see? Something pops up my phone. There is no fucking accidents, people. None whatsoever. If fucking Thieves oil pops up on my phone, that's God saying, you need this, girl, for whatever you've been asking me for, or asking us for. Do you see? Yeah. So I'm going to ask God. I'm going to talk to God. I'm going to ask them to lead me. I'm going to do my research. Lead me to the best, God's honest truth, best research, highest knowing of love, for all the tools that I need to what? Be well. And that's why I got my socks on today, because I rub it on the bottom of my feet, because it protects me from more fucking viruses, right? It's incredible stuff. So research it. There's a really great story behind it. And I know I've talked about it before in my medical intuitive stuff. But once again, right, the OG shit from the beginning of time is some of our greatest healing shit. And it doesn't mean that technology and science don't bring great things, right? But more often than not, it is the most simplest, original medicine and original healing remedies. Here we go again. From the beginning of time, right? The OG formula of God and love, right? That is our best tools to work with in this life, right? For our best healing, for everything that we need, right? All we have to do is the original formula of God. Ask and you shall receive, right? Yeah. Okay. That said, I don't know if I was drinking out of my bottle, but I'm pouring more water in my cup here. All right. So, we are working on getting well, and we too are experiencing lowered immune systems, because universe and God knows that Lynn does not want to do and won't do the work unless, right? Unless she's being pushed to in Earth World. Why? Because I have a lot of shit on my plate, just like all of us in these times. So they give me incentive, because when I don't feel well and I'm really sick, or I see my family sick and I'm hurting through great pain and great suffering in Earth World, what? Comes some of our greatest gifts, right? Yeah. Our greatest wisdom, our greatest healing, our greatest happiness, our greatest joy, removes blocks, brings us to a different space of God and love through these experiences. That's the nature of enlightenment. That's the nature of Earth World. And that's the nature of being human in this reality, when we want to get it or don't want to get it, whether subconsciously, consciously, or however it is. This is how it truly works. When we can't get off our asses or get our heads out of the sand, this is what happens. The universe brings us to great suffering. Okay, with our souls. God does not divvy unwell. Our souls call in these things, and they can be perceived as unwell, right? Or they can be perceived as, okay, God, I'm not feeling good. This is what's happened in my family. I need your help now. What do I need to do? Show me, guide me, and let me do it. From love, from my greatest health, from my greatest being, for my best family, right? And whatever I'm going through, clear this out, heal this, change this. These are our tools. It doesn't mean we don't have difficult times. In fact, these times right here are the hardest times in my entire life. And my life, honestly, has been quite a bear. I have a good word that I usually use for it. I stop short of calling it a C word, because so many great things have come out of it. So many great things. Without all my experiences, I could not open all those doors in my soul to all these enlightenment gifts and everything that's in my chart. And I'm still working on it. And we all are. That's our journey. Always growing, always learning, always being amazing, guided by highest knowing of our hearts, working with this energy that is love. Because it is not love that does this to us. Like people say, well, God did this to me. No. Your soul is part of the magic of God, and it called it in for your best well-being, wisdom, guidance, knowledge, things that you asked for from love, whether it's a new car, a new house, a lovely family, a beautiful home, incredible children, right? Whatever it is. But until you know and truly learn the way things work, my God, all you do really is, and this was my whole life really, beat your head up against the fucking wall. Because you don't know how it really works. Yeah, if nobody tells you, if you're not listening to your heart, if you're not in your heart, if you're not doing from what you feel is the right thing to do from love in your heart. Yeah, neat as shit, man. The neatest shit. All right, I'm just going to check and see what time it is right now. What time we got, Ray?
7:52.
Okay, good. So we still have about a good 45 minutes to 50 minutes for questions. Okay, because this said, I'm going to talk more about the oceanfront stuff that I want to share with you guys and my experiences there, because but first I want to just close up on this, talking about how we're sick, and it's been Mercury retrograde. I think it ends on the 3rd now, right? Yeah. So Mercury retrograde this month ends on the 3rd, but there's going to be another 3 to 4 weeks of what you call the shadow period. So it's going to start to fade out. Do you have any question? Something you were going to say?
No, I was just saying thank God.
Oh, Alicia says, thank God Mercury retrograde is going to be almost over, right? Anyways, funny shit. Okay. So Mercury retrograde's almost going to be over, but we still have a few weeks in there where it's going to dissipate for all of us. Okay. And then, and that's also why we're re-experiencing having really rough sickness. We were sick throughout this time. We got sick again with a kind of flu thing. This happened over time. We've been coming out with, other health issues, but this is what's happening in the world, people. So get a heads up. And then people say, well, they just ignore it. They just ignore those headaches. They just ignore the heart palpitations. They just ignore that their blood pressure spiked for a day. They just ignore that every other week they got a new cold. They just ignore that they have a rash over here that they've never had before. And this is the shit that's happening in these times. So we've got to be cognizant of our health. This is why I'm talking about this. And all that I'm going through is forcing me this entire year to address it, because I'm Capricorn and I'm going to work my ass off and live my dreams and keep on going like a mad dog. But I can no longer ignore my health. Because I'm just like you guys. And my soul is like, yeah, Lynn, you came into here to heal this, and it's not going to happen in the old ways anymore. You must address your health. You must. And that's what we all must do. How we don't take care of ourselves in the healthiest, best way. How we don't get enough rest. How we're not cognizant. We're so busy doing everything else out here. We don't balance and take the time for ourselves. And this is all of that in multiple ways. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. These are those times. So I'm sharing this with you because, and tips and tools, work with God always to get your health solutions. Be cognizant of what is going on in your body and use all the tools in Earth World, all God or love energy, whether it's allopathic medicine, whether it's homeopathic medicine, any and everything has and is medicine in some way, shape, or form, or health in some way, shape, or form, guided by higher knowing. Sometimes you need to rest. Sometimes you may need to watch a TV show that makes you cry because you need to get your emotions out. People wouldn't normally think that's healing, but guess what? It is. Because if you can't release your emotional shit, then it gets stuffed somewhere and it makes you physically sick, mentally sick, some way sick out here in this reality. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Okay, so this time, with all of this, it was called in that I draw your attention to this as well as our own. As we're going through this and we're getting well and we're working on it again. My solar return chart is a bear. It's a bear this year. In my sixth house was my sun with my vertex in Virgo and my Mars. And if that doesn't say continuous health crisis throughout the year, little did I know, right? And then you look at it and you put it together and you're like, oh, fuck. I get it now. Your solar return chart is the year ahead. When that's in there, baby, your vertex is a person, place, or thing that changes you forever. And that's what's happened to us since my birthday last October. Right around my birthday, man. Astrology, God astrology doesn't lie. Everything that is love energy doesn't lie. Truth of God. You want to know the truth? The God's honest truth. And all the answers are there. Ask and you shall receive. Ask universe to show you them. Okay. That said, I'd like to take about 15 or 20 minutes and talk about the breakdown of society and what I'm seeing at the ocean front, because it's crazy shit, because there's no boundaries. People don't know how to act, when to act, what not to act. And a big part of that problem, anyone know why that is because of what's going on in Hollywood and with all our elitists and the people that people look up to and put on pedestals because they're wealthy or they're musicians or they're artists or of some kind of way, shape, or form, or they're actors, and then they have influence on the public, but they're really fucking toxic or part of this dark energy, and people put them on pedestals and think that their way is the best way. A perfect example is when we see Kim Kardashian, right, who just like all of us, has their own missions and their own ways of doing things in this world. But it is certainly the stuff in a large majority that she is doing that the people are what is it, emulating when you copy other people? Is that the word that they're telling me it is? When you see people in Hollywood and they start to comment on how you should be, that just like her comment about women and how they need to work, and women don't need to work, right? Or women need to work harder, and she's in a leather bra and her tummy's hanging out and she's got a leather skirt on. It's a very sexual outfit. While it's very classy and it's very beautiful, that's not the outfit that you should be talking to people in this reality about business and encouraging women in. That encourages women to wear shit like that to work. Leisha, do you think that's acceptable to wear to work?
Probably depends on where you work, but
yes,
not necessarily.
Yes, and Leisha says probably depends on where you work. Yeah, that's right. If you work in a nightclub, if you're a dancer, if you're a stripper, or if you're in a high-end nightclub, or, these are the places, let's say, or maybe if you're going to an adult party, right? I don't know what kind of life you have, right? However, you can still wear an outfit like that looks elegant. But when you're talking to women and trying to tell them important business information, that's not the energy you want to bring to the table. You would think, right, that we would know this through Code of Ethics of God and Love and Saturn's Earth world, right? How many of us know that we don't go with our boobs hanging out everywhere and all of our stuff? And this is what we're seeing at the ocean front because of role models and distorted illusions, Neptune and Pisces, like this. It doesn't mean that you can't be sexual. There's a positive, healthy way and place and time, just like you brought up, for everything. And that's all part of what is disintegrating in this society. We're looking up to the wrong people or toxic people who have no business teaching or trying to imply their wisdom, which is fucked up, which we can see by how they act and do and are in what? Earth world reality. Do you see? You want to know if that's how you should act and do? What should you do?
Talk to God.
Yeah, talk to God, talk to love. Hey, is this how I should be dressing? Right? Everything from thigh-high boots to thongs to fishnet to your ass hanging out in the middle of the ocean front, from being 2/3, 3/4, 85, 90% naked, walking up and down the strip with nothing on, holding on to an 18-month-old baby. What do you think you're doing? What the fuck? How can you think that that's healthy? Is that healthy for your kid? Yeah, this is crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. And they don't do this just once. It's back and forth, up and down. It's kind of like what Universe Guides me. It's kind of like whoring. They're looking for people to pick up. And you bring your child there, they want to show off. They want to get attention. Do you know how many asses I saw? Oh my God, do you think that none of us have an ass? I've seen hundreds of acids, all different kinds, shapes, sizes, right? But it's just the vanity and the unwellness and the no boundaries and the inability to understand and know through a breakdown of positive, healthy parental values and societal values from love in the purest form is what's going on here. Do you see what I'm saying? You can ride up to the ocean front and you can't miss it. Now, of course, there's exceptions to every rule. Not everybody is doing this, but it's an epidemic. It is clearly an epidemic. I don't know what they're doing in Los Angeles. I don't know what they're doing in Florida beaches, but I can tell you, this is the craziest shit, man, that I'm seeing, because there's a time and a place for everything. If you want to be with your lover, you want to wear some dress, that has a thong and your ass is hanging out of it or your boobs are hanging out, that's between you and them. Your body is sacred, people. You don't share it with the world. You honor it. Just like when people say to me, spiritual people go, I can't wait till I get off this planet with this meat sack. I'm like, oh my God, please don't use that word. They're like, my body's a meat sack. I'm like, I can't even fucking believe you said that. You don't call your body a fucking meat sack? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? But that's what people say in their weirdo spiritual beliefs, right? Crazy as shit. Meat sack. That's not honoring. What?
Or flesh prison, too.
Yeah, flesh prisons. Oh, stop. Why aren't you celebrating your body, honoring your body? That's the same reason they're getting inoculations. They don't love themselves. They don't respect their bodies. They don't honor their bodies. They forget that their body is their vehicle. If they took care of their bodies as well as they take care of their literal cars and trucks and shit, boy, what a different world. And then they wonder why they're going to get sick or why they get sick. Do you see? Yeah. So, let's free ourselves from calling our bodies meat sacks and flesh prisons and all this weirdo fucking shit. But that's all lower vibrational toxic shit, energy that we carry in us. And this is massively the way they're disrespecting. There's all different variations of disrespecting ourselves, not honoring ourselves, carrying whore energy from lifetime to lifetime. And then what are we teaching our 18-month-old, our 5-year-old, that we're dragging down the boulevard half naked with our boobs going out and we're walking like this? And I'm like, please, God. I'm like, this is incredible. Really, it's heartbreaking. And the other thing that I see is, on the other side of this coin that I see, right, with this is the amazing thing is the crowd mentality of how many people are in this zone and think that this is what? Okay. Yeah. It's one thing to wear a bikini on the ocean front and have a cover up and be beautiful and celebrate your body and be around people in a positive, healthy way. It's another thing to be trolling the boardwalk looking for men, dragging your kid along, smoking marijuana or what the fuck ever, right? Drinking too much, right? And I get there's an energy that when we're young people, these are rite of passages sometimes in our journey in life, and our soul leads us to these things. But make no bones about it. This is totally out of core ethics of Saturn and Earth world from love in the purest form of moral code of ethics. In the healthiest, purest form from love. She okay? Okay. Yeah. So we're just talking on lovely.
Well, while you're drinking, Sarah Sutra's in Ocean City, Maryland right now, and she says it's the same there. Mm-hmm. And Kathy Warmack is in Florida, and she says it's the same there.
How fucking crazy that you guys are all seeing this, and that's no accident, right? Crazy shit. Yeah. It's like, and so you're seeing the moral breakdown in society, and it is our jobs to change that. So when those families come up to me and they're all not nice and not healthy and not in a healthy space, right? One of the things, if guided by higher knowing, is I'm going to teach them manners. I'm going to say, hey, when we want something, we say please from love. I'm going to ask love to speak through me. I'm going to ask love, right? Yeah. Because even though I'm guided to do this job, I have a code of ethics within myself that must be honored and respected. You see? Yeah. And energy begets energy, so to speak. What you are is what you attract. So I can give out energy as guided by higher knowing and God in my soul. And my soul, as we grow wisdom wise, as we grow in our journey, will automatically return the energy to people that they deliver to me on a subconscious soul level. This is also part of the reason why I talk to everybody in their own particular way, that they need to be spoken to. You know, just like when I say you have to speak to the devil in a language that the devil understands sometimes. Because when you speak to the devil from love, the devil doesn't give a fuck about love. So he's not going to what? Hear you. Right? But if you speak to the devil in a language of manipulation or yelling or screaming or violence, or in a language that somehow is in the code of ethics of the toxic that he understands, then he can understand you. And sometimes that's how you have to speak to people. Right? And when you get in higher consciousnesses of God, your soul will automatically do that. So when people say, well, spiritual people don't tell people to fuck off. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. If there is a time and a place for that, absolutely. But most of the time, at highest levels of God, your soul will do some incredible magic, or God will change that for you, and you will see the things that will happen, guided by higher knowing, incredible magic. And I will tell you these stories about my oceanfront experiences as well of God protecting us up there, because it's kind of seedy up there. It's kind of shady, and it's not, really the healthiest environment. More often than not, we've been there almost 7 evenings. It's going to be our 8th, I think, tomorrow night. And we've been up there a lot. And so we were always, what would I say, super protected by God and love, always. And I'm going to tell you some of those stories too, because it's really hysterical, what God does and tells me that is happening. I got some great metaphysical stories for you. I'm sure you guys know when people don't honor me, universe like nails them. And it's quite comical, they show me and they tell me exactly why things that happened, right, happen. And who the energy is for and what exactly happened. And all you have to do is ask and you shall receive. And some stuff I don't even have to ask, and they just do it in front of me, and I know exactly why what is happening, and I don't even ask God to return the energy, because it's not necessary. When you get in that really high-end flow of God, the more you work with God, the more you work with love, and the more you're in alignment with your soul and your soul's mission, you're in like the flow of love energy, and things happen for you and you're not fighting it. And when you're fighting it is when you have issues or challenges, right? Just like if you wanted to buy something online and your credit card doesn't go through 50 times, it's not that time to buy it. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, stop. Maybe get it later, talk to God, maybe this isn't the best product for you or whatever, but this is why this is happening. Because when you are meant to do something, it's in the flow. It's in the flow. And this is how the new world, and how it's always been with love energy. The more you work with God, the more you work with love, the more you're in the flow, and the more great things happen for you. Are there any other comments, Jen, with all this? I'm going to ask for some comments.
Not specifically, just people sharing their stories about different experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you guys are seeing what I'm talking about. And now I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about, too, the other thing that I'm seeing is, of course, I'm sure you all know, I'm sure this is in Miami and all over, too, on the beaches around the country and around the world, especially in America, with everything that is going on here and the toxic with all this. What's happening is, of course, and this is not a new thing, but there's gangs of cars, right? And so you can see the gangs ride up and down the street, back and forth 100 times, showing off their vehicles. And this is really about all these different kinds of egos. Look at me, look at my body, I'm beautiful, I need attention, right? Also, the loud music draws attention to them. But it's so fucking loud that it's amazing that if by the end of the summer that I will be able to hear. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, it's that loud, right? And you can see where they're investing their money in these hot cars and the young people, the hot rods and all this stuff, right? But, the problem is where do you draw? It's okay to have a beautiful car. It's okay to love and have great things, right? But the question becomes is, why are you doing what it is that you are doing? What is your intent? Just like walking down the ocean front with barely any clothes on down the city street, right? Same kind of thing. And then what kind of attention are you drawing to yourself? Is this the healthiest way to be? Is this the purest form of love? This is about boundaries, right? Yeah. So there's a time and a place for everything. And what's happening, though, what I'm seeing is a lot of men, young men, right? But men in general across the board, but especially young men, right? Driving down the ocean front in these, cars that they've invested all of their money in with their music, like super, super, super loud. So loud that you can't even hear yourself talk for a whole block. Right? That's how loud it is. But the most horrifying thing, one of the most horrifying things that I saw and have seen, and it's happened over and over, is that these are family people. They have children in their car, an 18-month-old, and the music is so loud, and the kid is in the back seat of that car, standing up, no seatbelt, no car seat, and you're like, oh my God. And the music is so loud. And I thought to myself, I'm like, how can this happen? And the people on the sidewalk who are watching this car go by, oh, that little boy is so cute. And while he was so cute, oh my God, why isn't anybody thinking about what's happening? Why isn't the kid in a car seat? Yeah. Why is he in a vehicle that the music is so fucking loud that by the time he reaches his second fucking birthday, I'm sure he won't hear? I worked in a bar job for like a year where the music was in the left side of my ear, so fucking loud that I still can't hear today right in that ear. So imagine the damage from all of this. And this is just a literal thing that comes in, literal things in Earthworld. Of the propensity for this child to go flying into the car seat if somebody stops short into the car in front of him, if he, just where the child would be seriously hurt because it's a little guy. And this is not one kid, this is multiple kids. And what? So you can show off your ego? I mean, there's just such a disintegration here that it's like, why, we wonder why and what is going on in society, where these people don't have a code of ethics, and that's what we're here to change. But when you see things like, what's that Travis guy in Hollywood?
Travis Scott.
Yeah, Travis Scott, or the Kardashians with one girl with her blood video. When you see people who are role models like this, and people who get on there and like, I sold my soul to the devil, and they think it's okay to have people die at their concerts and be seriously toxic in these spaces, and they think it's okay to look up to these people. What the fuck? Is this really what they want for their children? Is this cool?
They're pretty.
What?
Like, people only see that they're pretty. And so they're like, oh my God, you're so pretty.
Yeah.
So whatever you do is okay.
Yeah, so pretty. That's what Rachel said. Thinking you're so beautiful, you're Hollywood, you have so much money and so much this. So you're a role model for society. No. It's not how it works. That's why we're here, because this is all vehicles or all epidemics of the darkness that is now on the planet that is growing huge. And that's also what has happened with the inoculations, is more of this behavior has been and will be coming out. And this is also, what's going on with like the shootings that are going on in the world as well. The shootings that we have, oh, thanks God for me being free of all this sneezing stuff. Sinus stuff, thank you. This is why we have, this epidemic too of all the shootings and all this stuff. And it's all part of the grand design of darkness, because everybody is disconnected from their hearts. So much of the people are, especially the earth world people, the earth world vibration, in the major energy of society, Saturn's earth world society has lost God, has lost love, has lost manners, morals, integrity, and has been brainwashed, right? Through time, through all of this. This is all the vehicle of the darkness behind the scenes. This is what is happening. Now, higher end God beings who got the shot have different missions, and there's exceptions to all rules. And when I say the shot, inoculation, okay? So who got the inoculated or inoculated many times or whatever, each person does things on an individual level based on their soul's journey. But there is an epidemic here in Saturn's earth world, in society, societal earth world rules, that is creating this. And Hollywood is facilitating this. And if you look, most of Hollywood, a lot of people in Hollywood are getting inoculated too, because they're all part of that same fucking darkness. But they themselves are being brainwashed by the darkness, if you think about it. Because if you think for 1 second that, they're going to be all on this high-end pedestals, Hollywood is over. That ship has sailed. It's over. Because the new world is about love. Love being in your heart. We are the new superstars of Earthworld. We are the new Hollywood. We are the new people to change this world, for people to look up to, right? From love, the God beings, right? So just by being that light, being around that light, being in the ocean front, being able to teach through this avenue in this venue, being here at my shopping center and doing our classes, being out in the world, right? Doing this, even if I say nothing, my light says that. Because most of the time, very few people come up to my face painting stage. Very few people. Why would that be? Because they're not at the same vibration as me. And this vibration has all the light and love and power of God at the highest level. And it brings your darkness right out in front of your face. Because it's super intimidating. Yeah. But it's not done on a deliberate conscious level, so to speak, like we would think, let's say, in Earth World. It's done by just the nature of darkness and light. They don't resonate, you see? Yeah. Incredible stuff. What are you guys eating?
Orange lightsaber mints. You want one?
I do. They're having mints out here. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? I want a mint.
The whole video I've been struggling not to cough.
Oh, I know. That's we all got these colds and sinus shit going on. I'm like, God, let us be free of it. Thank you. Leisha's got us some lifesaver mint. Thank you, God. Thank you, Leisha. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is what's happening. This is why we're there. You just got to say to yourself, wow, because the truth of what's happening, the breakdown of society is right here. And I can't tell you how much marijuana I smell. And it's not that I am against drugs. There's a positive, healthy space and way of anything and everything in our lives through our earth world experiences. All right. And through all that is God, right? There absolutely is. How do we know those spaces? How do we do what it is that we do? We talk to God, we work with God, and we feel in our heart, and we know what our mission is in our soul's journey. Our highest heart souls are our geniuses. However, right, there is an epidemic, as you know, of toxicity in Saturn's Earth world, of alcoholism and addiction, and now they've employed or imply that it's okay to get high 24/7. It's not okay to get high 24/7, FYI, right? Because then that makes you dysfunctional, and then it's easier for the darkness to take over the world. Doesn't that make great for their plan? Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing to get high once in a while. It's a whole different ballgame to get high all the time. Whole different ballgame. And the whole ocean front fucking smells like marijuana, right? So I'm like, whoa, that's enough of that. I have to keep praying up there. I'm there like, thanks God for me being free of this loud music. Thanks God for taking care of this. Thanks God for me being free of this. Thanks God for the greatest night, right? And thanks God for the best people for me, the best fun for me, for changing the world and doing our journey and all that is all this from love, right? Yeah. So, that said, for tonight, I'm going to wrap it up with my commentary. I wanted to share some stuff with you guys that universe has been guiding me to show you what's really going on in the world and how there's such a massive deficit that society looks up to these people in Hollywood because they're artists and they're musicians or they're somebody famous or a famous politician. All this shit is over. These people are not who you should be looking up to for code of ethics from love. Right? Ask love who your greatest teachers and who your greatest wisdoms and wisdom beings are to follow, to be with. God's honest truth of it. Who are the best teachers for you? Who are the best people to bring the new world in from love, to follow, to share videos with? Who are those people, God? And if we want to be those people, thank you, God, for us being those people, because there's where those answers are. I don't want to see Meryl Streep get on a fucking box at the fucking awards and tell me who the president should be. Fuck you, Meryl Streep. Fuck you. Don't you bring your wonderful acting gifts to bring me your code of ethics. Fuck you. All right? Because they're not in alignment with this. I don't care who you think should be president. Doesn't matter to me, right? If you want to talk about that, you can talk about it in your own forum with your own people who want to hear you talk at your own leisure. But as something like this has to do with Hollywood and art, and this is something different. There's a time and a place and boundaries for everything, right? Yeah. All because I'm, let's say, rich and famous and wealthy and well-known doesn't mean that I know what the best thing to do is from love. Not a long shot. Not a long shot. So look for, ask for, know, feel, be in alignment for the best spiritual teachers, best beings for you. You will know who they are because they will be the same people over and over and over and over. They will be who they authentically are. Your heart will show you. You will feel that they are the right people for you. You will know. You will know. Okay? And those are the people. And you, even when new leaders start to emerge, know this as well. The new leaders are going to start to emerge. And there's going to be a lot of charlatans. There already is. Look at politics. Look at politics, right? There is no Republican, Libertarian, or what is the word? Democrats, right? It's just all fucking toxic government. Bottom line, this shit has to go. It's unwell. We need variations from highest knowing of love of a whole new system. And I can tell you what all those systems are, right? Because part of my gifts, that my soul came in here to do this fucking work. There's no doubt about it. And if you look at my chart, Mercury in Scorpio in the 11th house is a bear. It is the best of the best of the best of what it does, right? So you can tell me that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And you can say, well, you have the fattest ego on the planet, Lynn. I don't give a shit what you think. Just like a lion. My soul came in here to do this. That lion came in here to be a lion. He's going to be a lion no matter what. And he doesn't care what you think. He knows he speaks truth of God or lives truth of God in being a lion. And this is all who we are. No more time for this bullshit ethic garbage of what you people telling you about you being in your ego and shit. But you will know who is authentic, just like you know if I am. You guys wouldn't even fucking be here if I wasn't the real deal, right? And this is for all of us. So you have to ask yourself, are we the real deal? Who is the real deal? And when we start to see rulers emerging that we think are good, or through the propaganda, throughout whatever they're showing us, who really is this person? Examples: Vladimir Putin, Elon Musk, Joe Biden, right? Some people to explore and look into. What answers do you get with God? Who are these people? Because these are prominent people in the world stage, world politics. Who are these people? Including Oprah Winfrey, Eckhart Tolle. Oh yeah, you want me to go there? I will, right? Because truth of God always comes out, baby. Truth of God and love always comes out. So get ready. Our shows are going to just get better and better. Oh my God. I just feel it. All right. So stay tuned, because there's going to be a lot of talk, but always feel in your heart, what's the God's honest truth about these people and what they're telling me? Do I feel like this is a person who should be our leader and shouldn't? And in these times, like I said, Luciferians behind the scenes, all over the place, right? Dark energy. All right. So this said, great wisdom for tonight about what's going on in society, a different kind of intake through my earth world experiences that God is guiding me to share with you guys, right? And remember, anything I can be, you can be. Anything you want to be, you can be your whole entire dreams. You can be everything that we are, anything that you want in the whole world. Anything, right? Ask love that you are that. And the societal breakdowns are coming and they're happening. So big shifts are happening. It's going to be incredible changes. And they are happening now. And so if you're not preparing, prepare. If you don't know how, you can always ask questions here. What do I got to prepare for, Lynn? And I'll be glad to repeat it. You can check out all my other videos. I think we have almost 300 videos out there from well before COVID-19, when well before I was this person, because we have evolved so much spiritually. That's the nature of the journey, you know? Okay. So go ahead. Rachel has something to say.
When you were talking about the different celebrities or people in the public eye that might not be exactly who you think they are, Sarah Sutra said, even the Dalai Lama.
That's right. Somebody said to me he's a Freemason. I was like, holy shit, you're absolutely right. And everybody has looked up to the Dalai Lama for lifetimes. That was heartbreaking, Sarah Sutra. Fucking heartbreaking, isn't it? I'm like, holy shit, how we've all been what? Deceived. Oh, absolutely. And speaking of that, I got some stories for you guys about how the darkness has approached me. They were like, oh, Lynn, we see that you're this famous. Do you want to be more famous? Or do you want to be more well-known? We see you got to this level of success, but we see you want to be here. And then they're like, how about we do some of this over here? I actually had a person approach me with this a while back, and they were like, I can make you the famous that you want to be, Lynn. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'll take a rain check. No fucking thanks, you know? And you know, it's creepy shit, man. Creepy shit. But this is the stuff you're going to be approached with, you know? And the devil is so smooth and comes in so many different ways. But you're right. The Dalai Lama included, right? Heartbreaking. And then you know, there was something that came up on my phone today, that something about, has Eckhart Tolle really transcended his ego? Let me tell you something about the ego, right? All right. The truth of God or love is there has to be an ego to exist. It's not about transcending your ego. It's being in the healthiest space of it. You need an ego in some way, shape, or form in physical earth world, because that's the nature and the design of God, as long as you are a what? A human being or an animal. Do you see what I'm saying? Or a living creature. Do you see? Yeah. So when somebody says that, you know, that would need to be super explored, but that's what came on my phone, and I was like, you know, I'm like, yeah, Eckhart Tolle can be as brilliant and intellectual and super gifted for sure in many different ways. But what's really going on behind the scenes? What's the darkness that's employing this supposed light that he is? Do you see? I mean, it's really complex, and there's some really creep shit going on. But the bottom line is, your ego in a healthy space of God or love is your survival. Just like when people say to me, oh, Lynn, you know, you're angry and you have all this anger, right? Well, anger is part of being human, is part of our emotions, and it's part of the energy that protects us from the darkness. And in its healthiest, best space, it's the energy that allows you to stand up and tell people to fuck off when you need to stand up and fight for you. If you can't tap into positive, healthy anger, and you can call it rage, you can call it whatever the fuck it is, but you need those tools as a human being for this lifetime, or you'll never speak up for you. You'll never do for you. Do you see? Yeah. People go, oh, you're so angry. Well, yeah, I have work to do on my angry space. But if you look at me, right, we all have work to do. Right? But if you look at me and you say, you know, and you look at anger and what I am angry at, right? Versus, you know, I don't like that person because they wouldn't let me do what I wanted to do, versus, hey, they're out of alignment with my love energy space of me, and they're slinging their shit at my table, and then I get angry because you're not honoring me and respecting me. So, truth of God is, if you're not doing that, that's when my soul gets really, really pissed, depending on the level of not honoring me that you are doing, right? And this is on so many subtle, subconscious layers and ways of human soul psychology from highest knowing of God and love. Do you see? Yeah. So when people say, you shouldn't be angry, fuck, I'm like 90 million, you know, components of Aries and Scorpio and Libra and Taurus. So, I mean, those are some powerful, passionate anger energies, right? Or having this anger energy, but passion energies, right? You don't come in with the gifts that you have, right? So that you don't use them. Do you see what I'm saying? You have these gifts for these times, for these reasons, to do whatever it is that your soul came to do in all different ways. Just like I have the ability and am an artist, a writer, a healer, a teacher, you know, a medical intuitive, right? An energy worker. And this is because we've done this work for lifetimes. All of us. This is you guys. This is us. This is Christ energy. This is all of us at the highest levels of God. You have the magic of everything. And you are that. And don't ever forget that. So don't give a fuck about ego space, but just be cognizant of your ego space. Because when you are this form of God, it's when you're toxic. If your toxic comes out, you'll know. Because you'll go, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Or, oh, that didn't make me feel good. And then what are you going to do? You don't sit there and wallow and say, I'm a miserable, shitty person because I did something fucked up based on my energy and my soul that was toxic. You say, okay, God, I see that I did this, and let's say I said something toxic to Alicia. What do? I say, hey, Alicia, you know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I did that. Do you see what I'm saying? And then I'm going to say, I'm going to clear that on me, so I'm free of doing that again. I'm going to put the best way to be from love. And then that's gone. It's just being responsible for me. And I'm going to do the right thing in earth world. Do you see? I apologize, so to speak, for saying this. If I feel that I have offended Alicia, and I didn't want to be that guy who did that. Do you see? And I be sincere, and I do the right thing from love, if that's what I feel in my heart. You see? And this is how things really work with law of universe, law of God, law of love energy. That's why the show will, God willing, go on for so infinitely many more shows, guided by highest knowing of God, because God is infinite and so is the wisdom to learn from lifetimes. But we are those consciousnesses, and we've come to teach the world in our journeys and in everything for ourselves, and keep on learning, and then with everything in our lives as well. Okay, that said, I would appreciate your comments, any questions you guys have about what we talked about tonight. For sure, please do share our videos. I'm going to see just where we are and see if we can't get some questions answered. And if we don't get your questions answered tonight, please, my assistants, both Rachel and Jennifer, will definitely take the questions, and we will address them next week at 7:15 on our live talk forum again, and throughout the summer months. Okay, so whose questions do we got? What do we got?
I was wondering, if Alicia, is your question matured?
If you want to see if anybody else has questions first, I'm good with that.
Okay. So then Nikki wants to know, she says, you know that she interviewed multiple times for the job at Goddard. Mm-hmm. She says, as you know who I am, I'm super excited about this opportunity. I've been fantasizing about the thing my family, about what we can do, go, and have. Could I push back the job by dreaming of what could be? Or is that okay? I know that dwelling and not letting go can hinder creation. Thank you for all your help. I love you all.
All right. I just got this lifesaver in my mouth. Great time for questions, right?
It's tasty, isn't it?
Oh, it is tasty. I like that.
It's yummy.
Somehow I don't feel it's chemical free. What?
I did not read the label.
Yeah, it is tasty though. Thank you. All right, Nikki Opera, thank you for your question. So basically you're saying that you're excited about the job, you've applied for the interview. I know we've been working on this, we've been working together to get you this great job, guided by highest knowing in your heart. Your heart has called this in. We know that by thinking positive and dreaming about it, that's only going to create, as long as you're in a positive, healthy space of it with your intent. It doesn't, it's virtually impossible to say that dwelling on it, that I want all of these things, or it has to be a specific way. That's not really going to hinder it. When you're doing, let's say, the visual, like affirmations, like making a board of your dream house, right? As long as your heart is in the right place and you're putting out the positive, healthy vibes about how you want it, like you're imagining it and you're creating it, these are all good things. It's only going to go towards that energy. It's when you have a toxic kind of energy or unwellness with it, that would create it to be toxic. All right, let me give you an example. Hold on a second. Thanks God for bringing me to a toxic example for Nikki now with this. This candy is making me crazy. Trying to talk with this candy in my mouth. I'm like, oh God, stop this energy, stop this. Okay, so how you would create it to be toxic is through wanting it so desperately and so badly. All right, so the wanting. Don't think of wanting it. Imagine yourself in that position and how lovely it's going to be, and lovely it's going to be working with the people, and create it, like literally through prayer, through lucid dreaming. This is all ways that I do stuff like this as well. But free yourself from wanting it so desperately. The more we want, the more we create more wanting, and anything negative in there, like any kind of toxic negative stuff. like imagining yourself, you're at the ocean front naked and you're, you know, at the Goddard or whatever it is.
Oh my God.
Or at your job, you know, that's kind of going over the edge with that, right? You know, again, depending on the situation, but that was kind of a joke. However, no, just keep thinking positive. Also ask God to be in a healthy space of it and to release attachments to this. All right? Because when we want something so bad is when we push it away. Thank you, God, for these gifts for Nikki and all of us from love of the best clearing, healing, change, and creation for this. I've already put it out there. Every now and then I just send God energy, love energy to you and the angels to you to get this job, because I'm excited for you. And I want you to come and get a beach house down here and work with us and be with us. And everybody's invited to do that like Nikki's doing. You know, come down here and be with us or whatever you feel, anytime, any visits, whatever you want to do. Okay? So those are your answers to work with here, Nick. Is there anything else that goes with this, God, for Nikki with this? And thank you for this. Sorry you all have to endure me going. Jennifer loves it, especially when I chew with my mouth open. Trying not to. All right. So that said, I think that's what she's asking. I feel like that's right on. I think that's all the avenues we have to cover, right? And when you get crazy on it, Nick, ask to be free of obsessing about it. Ask to be free of thinking about it over and over. Ask to focus on all other things that you love as well and have the healthiest balance of all this. And thank you, God, for that for us, from love. And with all of this, the best gifts, tools, love, energy, magic, and make it happen now, please, God. From love, clear, heal, and change any and all of our blocks that stop this from happening. Thank you, God, for this for us, for Nikki and all of us from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God, for that for us. But know this, if it doesn't happen always, God has a better plan for you, or there's more work to do on your soul, but the plan is always a better plan, a better destiny, a better job, right? But I feel like this Colleen girl really likes you. And I do. I really feel like she wants you to work there, okay? Yeah. Okay, who's next?
Sarah Sutra.
All right. Hey, Sarah. Glad you're back.
She's saying, what is the truth? What's really going on? My choice was to not get the vaccine. I've been against them since 2007 when I received a flu vaccine that nearly killed me. I'm still suffering from it. I feel like this whole present situation is like a living nightmare. Lynn MacDonald, will the light come down and save us all? This is some serious shit. God save us all.
Yeah, I hear that, girl. I hear that. Well, we are the light. We are the light, Sarah. So the light comes through us. Waves of light will be happening. New souls will be coming in. New things will be happening. So you did the right thing, truly, if that's what your choice was, right? Everybody has their own choice to make with this. Overall, in Earth World Society and truth of God and love and what's going on is, it is absolutely toxic. We all know that, all right? Especially now more than ever, people are coming to me and they're like, and people are seeing the forest through the trees. They're being able to see what's really going on. So that said, there's something else that comes in for everybody to know too. They're talking about this crazy shit monkeypox things, and there's going to be lots of weird stuff coming in. You know, I think we've talked about it a little bit, but now what they're going to do is one of the things that they're going to do to try to get even more people inoculated is they're going to be like, oh, well, if this is the new epidemic and there's another new epidemic and you should get another inoculation and another inoculation, and they're going to be like, well, it's just for this, but they're fucking liars. You can't trust these people. They're, as far as I'm concerned, with God or love, until there is for sure higher knowing and God tells me different, there's no more inoculations. Not for me, not for my children. You know, and there was a time when there was some positive, healthy benefits to this form of science, but everything has gone completely out the back door and is awry. So you have to pick and choose exactly what it is that is best for you. But know this, all these epidemics, they're going to say, oh, and they're going to scare the people again. Well, you should get this, you should get inoculated because of this. But they're going to put all kinds of shit because their goal is to destroy humanity, right? Because they're super toxic, they're darkness. But again, God wins. God knows. Each soul has its own destiny, as does your, Sarah, and you're doing the right thing for you. And that's really what you should be concerned with the most, as well as your personal soul mission. And your soul mission will reflect and be part of whatever it is you've asked God for out here in the collective. And you came in here with that mission. So you got this. You are part of this light, as am I, as are all of us. Everybody here, and we are here to change this world, and great solutions and things are coming, and the avenues and the doorways will be coming out through new people, through ourselves, through the channeling, through the energy waves of energy coming through, literally through the portals of our souls, as well as all around the energy guided through the catalyst that is the star, that is in the stars, in the transits. New energies will be coming and triggered, and spaces in our souls to release information and sacred stuff from lifetimes within ourselves, all around, through multi-consciousnesses, all throughout the planet. So at all different levels of God, and we're going through basically phases of this, and we see it like when people do the protests, nonviolent protests and peace people, and they try to fight the system peacefully. This is like the first phases of these energies, and these energies physically manifesting in here through the people. It's kind of neat stuff, you know what I'm saying? So and then there'll be more and more and more. But just like anything, Aries is about action, oppression, and oppression brings revolution. So and all through history there has been violence. So it's going to be interesting exactly how and when and what is going to come and what's going down. But remember, it's like a game show right now. Nothing is really what they're telling you it is. There's all this crazy darkness all behind the scenes, and they're secretly orchestrating this so they can do this over here, and vice versa over here, and all the things we've talked about. Everything that's going on is part of those grand designs in world government. You can look on the WHO websites and all that shit, and you can literally see what they're planning, literally, right? And that's just, in simple words, but you can see how it's going down in all the situations, like BLM, what's happening in California. There's like rows of homeless people, what's happening in China. The COVID epidemic, the inoculations, they're talking about, the collapse of the financial system, but everything that's going on, the no formula, all these things are all parts of it, including the gun violence. Make no mistake about it. The gun violence. Because they're going to try to get the American people to surrender their guns. And that is going to be a huge, huge problem. Huge. When the shit hits the fan, if ever, and they try to come for the American people's guns, that's when the revolution really starts. Make no mistake about it. Yeah, because there's no way you're taking the people's homes. There's no way you're taking their food. There's no way you're taking their kids. You're just not. And it's going to be neighbors. It's going to be all kinds of wild shit if it comes to that space. And may it not, from love, right? But the darkness knows no boundaries. Right? In its own toxic, fucked up shit. But neither does love. God finds a way and is everything and is always miles ahead of the darkness. Always, always, always. So remember that. So there's a big propensity for action to happen with the gun thing, and this is what they do. They feel out the energy and they see what they can get away with. Same thing with the taxes. Wait till the people want to quit paying their shit, right? How much more money can you send to Ukraine? Billions of dollars to Ukraine, billions of dollars to the immigrants coming in who aren't even inoculated, but you have to get inoculated, right? I mean, the hypocrisy goes on and on and on, or contraindication goes on and on and on. Right? Because it's fucking toxic. But how much can the government take from the people before the people got fucking nothing? There's already rows. Look at fucking research this shit of homeless people in California, homeless encampments. I talked about it, recently that in one of our jobs, there's homeless people that we've seen there living in storage unit facilities. I mean, it's fucking insane what's going on. Right? But at some point, If you can't feed your children, or just like with, these are the biggest propensities to start to see in the areas where things are going to explode, right? Yeah. When you can't feed your child, or you don't have a home, right? Or they come in for your guns, or they try to take your shit, that's where you're going to have, or they try to force inoculate. Oh yeah. Oh, this, and they're just doing it in smoother, toxic ways, right? To get around everything and pull one over on the people, right? That's what they're doing. Okay. So this is truth of God. These are the spaces of the explosion. Same thing with Ukraine and Russia, and how America is sending now some kind of missiles over to support Ukraine. And what is it they call it? That's the Russian thing. There's the name of it. Do you know what it is? The Kremlin. I think it's the Kremlin, and the Kremlin's pissed off because the Americans are sending these weapons to help, so they're infiltrating this, and Russia's going to have to take action. But all of this is part of the grand design for these explosive things to happen, all right, or propensity to happen. It's a question of how long can we get away. I mean, there's already a ton of violence, right? But make no mistake about it, God wins. So, there's a ton of inner city violence. There's the breakdown, like we talked about, in our reality and society. They're teaching your shit things that they're teaching shit in schools, right? About sex, and we've talked about the LBGQ. I don't even know what the fucking words for it are. But what they're doing is they're infiltrating their code of ethics that is fucking toxic into the sexuality and the identities of people and our children, which they got no business fucking doing. Because your soul knows exactly what it's going to do, who it's going to be, whether it's going to be gay, a transvestite, or it's going to be a lesbian, or whatever sexual identity it chooses to take on and work out. It's already in its soul. Just like if you love music, you gravitate to music. Your soul knows who it is and what its journey is, not the fucking government. So when the government and the parents have the rights to teach their children, not the schools, not the government. What the fuck? What the fuck? You want the government telling your kids what to do? Or do you want that choice, Leisha? Madeline? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But this is what's going on. All of these things is making it a big boiling pot. And it's just a question of when these things are going to boil over. But when you're in these spaces of God, in the purest form of love, this changes everything, because you have all the power, no matter what the storm is. You could be in the middle of, God forbid, a Hiroshima, and you'll be fine, because you ask God that you will be fine. I have a tornado video or a hurricane video from way back when, where I talk about all these things, and they're short videos. They're on my YouTube, just like all the replays here. You can get them unless YouTube took them down, but I have like a bunch of strikes on me, so who knows how long that's going to be up. But our goal is to record all these in the future, so I can send you guys a disc if you wanted to get a disc, and however that goes, we'll just be guided by higher knowing, and all will happen from love in the best way, right? All right. So that said, you can see all these areas. Same thing with the financial market. Prepare, right? If you feel that you need to go get some gold, you go get it. If you feel that you need to stock up on extra groceries, you go get it. I suggest you keep your car maintenance up as well, because the longer it goes on and the longer you don't get something fixed, the more propensity it has to not be able to get the part, or the higher the expense it's going to be. But be aware that these people are trying to take advantage of everybody. So how do you do that? You ask God to make sure that you know exactly what is going on, so that the God's honest truth. Do you need this radiator? Do you need this part for your car? Are they telling the truth? The God's honest truth? Do you see what I'm talking about? Yeah. So that's why these skills and gifts and tools from love energy and working with love is your greatest gift, because it applies to everything that you are, everything. And it is all the power. It's Harry Potter magic. Yeah. Really cool shit. Love it. All right. That said, hope that answers your question, Sarah. And thank you. Thank you for being on our show. You too, Nicole, and everybody here. Thanks for supporting us. Thank you. Thank you for being these beings. Super grateful for you guys. things. All right. So who else we got online? Any other questions?
It's 10 to 9.
Is it 10 to 9? Oh my God. Well, let me see if Alicia and Madeline have anything. Our live audience. All right. Anything, ladies?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
So about a year ago, when I was living in New Jersey, I kept seeing Virginia license plates, and that was kind of the universe's sign of telling me that I was moving to Virginia to prepare myself for it.
Look at you go, girl.
Yeah, so I've noticed in the past few days a lot of Arizona plates. And I'm wondering, is this coincidence? Is this a sign from the universe? And if so, I mean, it may be as simple as it's time to make a pilgrimage of a visit. It doesn't necessarily mean a move. So my question is it just a coincidence because it's getting close to summertime, or is it something more to it?
All right, what's the God's honest truth? Well, this is definitely Mercury retrograde, so you're picking up on that, you know. So Alicia says years ago she was living in New Jersey. She saw Virginia license plates, and she knew that that was where she was going to move to. Universe showed her, her soul called it in and said, hey, here's your going on somebody's license plates, and she would see it over and over, correct? Mm-hmm. Now, this is Mercury retrograde, and this is happening to her again, right? Mm-hmm. Just like we had the flu way back when, and now we got the fucking flu shit again, right? Same thing during Mercury retrograde. Oh, let us reevaluate your health again. All right. So that said, now Alicia is seeing, excuse me, Arizona plates, right? Yeah. Alicia is seeing Arizona state plates. And I feel that there is a 23 to 27 to 38 to 42, 47, 53, 58. It changes and it goes up and down. Up to 58, but it stops there. Excuse me. Of a propensity at any given time to show you, but the smallest percentage is where it is now because it is retrograde. So with retrograde, we don't make any hardcore, solid decisions. We note it. We log it, we get guided by our souls, but a decision like that very rarely should be made in a retrograde time. So what I'm being guided to tell you is sit tight. There is a possibility. Right now it's low. That's why the first numbers came in, but it's up to 58, I think, % that they said that you could go there. Yes? Yeah. So there is the possibility of it fluctuates. So because they said it like that, it tells me that into the future, you will see more of these signs. And this will solidify that and tell you for sure if this is where you need to be going, and you will connect with that and you will know. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But right now, it's not there.
Got it.
I also feel like this has to do with your soul really wanting to be with your children. Or near your children. Somehow it's closer in California than it is here to California. Do you see what I'm saying? If they in fact do to go to California. Are they in Wisconsin?
No.
Do we talk about Wisconsin? Because Wisconsin keeps coming in, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's either way, it's coming in. So there's something about 23 to 27% in Wisconsin. If they're going to live there for a while, or something's up. All right, with that. So they may end up moving there. So, and this is also why those variables of that energy would fluctuate as well, because what you do changes everything out here. What they do, changes everything out here. And it's about balancing energies with all that is God and love for whatever is best for everybody. So it's kind of like we're waiting for the chips to fall. And those are the percentages. And as we go through time, those pieces will come together with all of this. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So there's your answer. For now, no, but everything you're picking up on is right on.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Any questions with this more? All right. How about you, Star in the back? Welcome. No? Huh?
I don't know. I feel like I haven't gotten like a 5er in a long time, but I feel like that's like such a classic question. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I feel like you already know where you're going and what's going on. You know, Madeline is in our audience tonight, and she's saying she's like, I want a fiver, but I kind of feel like I already know, and really she does. I don't feel like anything's going to change. I feel like we talk about it every day because you live with me. You know what I'm saying? So every day we get new information, and my whole house is like psychic day every day. You know what I mean? It's like, here's what comes in today, in this minute, in that minute, and then they'll be like, Mom, what about this? I'm feeling like this, or this came in, or what do you think about this? Or, you know, so we're always talking to God. So it's always psychic day. It's always information coming in all the time because we're always talking to love or God, right? So, and I feel like you pretty much know all those answers, which is also why you're not fueling this 5-minute reading too much. Like you're not really sort of feeling it. Do you know what I mean? Because what I feel is going to happen is pretty much in alignment with what we've talked about, and it goes with our whole episode tonight in terms of the collective being sick and the immune system of the collective being down. That's going to create a lot of opportunities for people who are not sick or people who can get themselves well and can stand up and still work and do the job. It's going to create a lot of new opportunities in the world. So while some people will be sick but the people who, let's say, didn't necessarily get inoculated or in better health will have a lot more opportunities that they didn't have in the past based on the choices that people make. And it's not I feel bad for somebody. This is just what's happening. So even though you've asked God for certain dreams and certain positions in your work, and they've given you those positions and they're training you for those positions and you're doing fantastic, they brought in these other people, I feel like that's like going to go up in smoke or is going to fall apart. Do you see? And the reason is for exactly these reasons. The universe is going to bring us all the opportunities through what is happening as long as we stay in our hearts and are always doing the right thing. But now these avenues based on people's unwellnesses are going to dissipate and move out of the way. In other words, these avenues, meaning these people who are, let's say, in the way, and the whole world is changing and shifting to a whole different place depending on who's staying and what their new journeys are. But this is going to bring in earth world societal jobs and things across the board many new opportunities for people like you to get to those positions, those places, those jobs, and things way harder than the bullshit of licking somebody's shoes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like when we talked about the owner of a company today and how, you know, when sometimes company leaders or company owners can be really good people and they can be in a positive, healthy space, and then there's ones that want you to kiss their ass, and if you don't kiss their ass, then you don't get a better position because you didn't kiss their ass. You know what I mean? But that's the toxic shit that has to go. Do you see? Why can't you own a business and be in a healthy space of it? You can, but that's what happens more often than not. People get in these ridiculous, fucked up ego spaces, you know, but that's the nature of what's going on. And it's all part of our journey as we roll down our paths. But this is going to lead you to more opportunities. And I feel like July, you'll be able to step into some of the positions that you want and train for those. And July isn't that far away. You know, I feel like between now and July 4th week, and the other thing that comes in too is people don't want to work on the holidays. They don't. It's summertime. And as Jennifer says, the living is easy.
That's right.
Yeah, summertime living is easy. Yeah, that's what Jennifer says, right? So with that, you know, people don't show up for work. They call in sick. There's a general propensity for that. And this is only going to allow you, with your Capricorn work ethics and your massively big heart and all your gifts, to create on a soul, subconscious level, and conscious level the things that you dream of that much quicker. You see? Yeah. So that's your reading. But it's all in alignment, really, I feel, with what we've already kind of talked about. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Cool. What about you, Big Z in the back? Sophia's here in our live audience, way in the back. Is she sleeping?
No, nothing right now.
Okay. Sophia's got nothing. Any last questions, or are we good for tonight?
We have a few more, but it's already 9 o'clock.
Okay. It's 9 o'clock, guys. I'm sorry we kept going for so long, but there's a lot of great wisdom. Got to pack in 3 shows into one. But I had a great time with you guys. So I hope you did too. Thank you all for coming. Super, super grateful. Thank you guys here too for coming. Super grateful. We will see you next Wednesday at 7:15. I got even more stories and the questions of people who didn't get their questions answered. Bring them next week because we will definitely get to them. And have a great summer, guys. Happy Memorial Day weekend that just passed. And thanks for your donations. If you can donate, do. And we'll see you next Wednesday at 7:15 for our next live talk forum. Bring your questions and have a great night. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.